Chael Sonnen just dropped a bombshell on Ariel Helwani's show. He claims to have insider info on not just when Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall is happening, but also where. After months of chaos, confusion, and everyone assuming Jones was on his way out, Chael flips the script with this shocking update, especially wild since just recently, Tom himself told ESPN that he's moving on because Jones is retired. Even Ariel reported that Jones turned down a massive UFC offer to fight Aspinall. So what's going on? If Chael's right, this could mean all the retirement talk was just smoke and mirrors, or that something changed behind the scenes. Either way, fans are buzzing again, because let's be honest, if there's one fight the entire organization desperately needs, it's Jones and Aspinall, the dominant rising force against the GOAT. We're talking legacy on the line, title legitimacy, and probably the most skilled heavyweight matchup in years. It's wild how fast the tide has turned. Suddenly everyone's writing Jon Jones off in this matchup like he hasn't been dominating the sport for over a decade. Sure, Tom is younger, faster, and looks like the most complete heavyweight we've seen in a while, but we're talking about Jon Jones, the guy who outclassed legends, adjusted mid-fight better than anyone in MMA history, and made serial killers in their prime look like they didn't belong in the cage with him.
Also, prior to speaking to Tom, I also strongly felt from information that I could get, or maybe I even overheard at places, that Madison Square Garden and most specifically November. And it was going to meet John's request, which was a very strange one when it came in, but he wanted 180 days from the day the bout agreement is signed. And why he dug his toes in, we don't know, but it actually would satisfy this. And so you bring up a great point that nobody's considering. Tom has a family and is a prize fighter and is not at the point in his career where we could just wait.
At what point do we move on? Because Tom's career is just hanging in the wind. The guy's young. He's last fought, in July. It was a 60-second fight. I think they're saving it for Madison Square Garden, and so there's no real rush to force Jon's hand. But Jon, everything he's doing would suggest that he is not coming back.
Sean O'Malley is getting real backing ahead of his UFC 316 rematch with Merab Dvalishvili, this time from Dan Hardy, who believes there's a clear path to victory for Suga. Even though Merab dominated the first fight with his relentless pressure and cardio, Hardy spotted what he calls a dead giveaway in that 5th round. O'Malley landed a sharp front kick to the champ's body that clearly hurt him, forcing the Georgian machine to circle away and check the clock. That moment showed vulnerability, something rare in Merab's game. Hardy says that's the key this time around. Sean doesn't need to just hunt for the chin, but should target his midsection. With front kicks and knees that punish anyone who level changes, O'Malley could chip away at the gas tank and confidence of the cardio king. And Hardy's not alone. There's a growing camp of fans and analysts who now believe that with the right strategy and sharper urgency, O'Malley can flip the script and get it done at UFC 316. Hardy mentioned that fighters like Dvalishvili, who rely heavily on pace and pressure, can be broken if you target areas they can't mentally push through, like the body. That kind of damage lingers and forces hesitation, something the champ can't afford in a fight where he needs to drown his opponents with volume.
But I also feel like Sean O'Malley's going to feel like he needs to be more proactive in trying to find finishers. And because that last round went the way that it did, with the front kick to the midsection and Merab being hurt and looking up at the clock, I mean, that was a dead giveaway. The obvious target for Merab is his midsection. The obvious target on Sean O'Malley for Merab are his legs. For whatever reason, Sean O'Malley doesn't respond very well to kicks. I think part of the reason is because he's heavy on his lead leg, because that makes him very sharp at countering, but it also makes him a little bit stuck in the mud when it comes to defending low kicks, and also when kicks are going higher as well, he can kind of sometimes do odd things with his arms defending. So if I'm Merab, I'm starting with quite a fast pace. I'm not necessarily going to do much more than I did in the last fight because I thought his pacing was really good. And I thought the ebb and flow that he'd worked into his pace where, okay, I'm going to have a minute, I'm going to move, I'm going to give you the impression that something's going to happen. And then if you attack me, I'm just going to give you some space.
Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov's longtime friend and teammate, Bellator lightweight Islam Mamedov, just made an intense and chilling statement that has stirred up the MMA world. In a recent interview with Russian channel Armageddon, Mamedov didn't didn't hold back when asked about Ilia Topuria's recent string of comments. Ever since El Matador moved up to lightweight and Makhachev set his sights on welterweight, Ilya's been talking reckless, calling Islam a coward, accusing him of running away, and even saying if he ever fought Khabib, he'd drag him into deep waters and drown him. Well, that clearly didn't sit well with Team Khabib. Mammadov made it clear that the team hasn't forgotten Ilya's words. In fact, he straight up warned Topuria to tread carefully, saying if he doesn't pipe down, Team Khabib will eventually come after him. Mammadov issued a direct threat to Topuria, warning that his teammates are actively searching for him. And while the focus right now is on Islam chasing Jack Della Maddalena's welterweight title, it's clear that the tension with Ilia is boiling underneath. Translated into English exclusively by us at MMA Psycho, this conversation signals the tensions are only growing between the Georgian and Dagestani camps. Let's dive into the interview.
How
does your team feel about Ilia Topuria's trash talk? You guys probably discuss it because Islam seems to respond to them, but at the same time, there's no clear reaction.
Islam's not interested in giving Ilia clout. He's not about to share the spotlight with someone who's trying to climb off his name. But I'll tell you this, there are a few guys in our team who are already out there looking for Ilia. They're watching, waiting. He better hope he doesn't cross paths with the wrong one, because some of these guys aren't gonna take his jokes lightly. He needs to understand, this isn't just banter. He's messing with a different culture, and if he keeps pushing it, he might end up learning a very painful lesson.
Do you see Islam returning to lightweight? How realistic is that?
Why not? Anything's possible. If Ilia does manage to win and become 2-division champ and Islam does the same, that's a huge fight. Sean O'Malley isn't holding back ahead of UFC 316, calling out Merab's style. He sums it up as finisher versus decisioner, with Merab playing the wrestler trying to hold him down, and Sean coming to finish the fight. Sean says it's no secret the Georgian's game plan is to grab him and control him, but Sean's goal is to light Merab up and put him out cold. He threw a warning at the champ, saying if he plans to stand and box with him, that would be a mistake. Suga is confident he can finish the machine this time, and that would make getting the win all the sweeter after losing the first fight. Their first bout showed exactly what Sean's talking about. Merab landed 6 takedowns and controlled the cage for over 10 minutes. If Sean doesn't get the win, many expect he'll seriously consider moving up to featherweight, a move he's hinted at several times before. He's spoken openly about the challenges of making bantamweight and the appeal of fighting at featherweight, where he could potentially bring his striking skills to a new division. A loss to Merab could be the trigger for that shift. Fans are watching closely to see if this fight will be Sean's last dance at bantamweight or a huge redemption moment. Either way, the stakes couldn't be higher for Suga. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.